tired of them shots making you sick. One dropper a day, that's the real trick. You don't know? You better ask somebody. You got drops, won't stop. Try GLP is the way I ride. Drops, not shot. Lifting us up. One product, four clean ingredients. 3 GLP pathways to the difference. Zero side effects, just plain to the game. Natural fire running through my veins. Got drops, won't stop. Put them under the tongue, just change your lives. Yeah, the river.
All right, everybody. We'll be getting started in just a moment. Go ahead and make your last minute text messages. Make sure that you get your whole entire team, on this call today. We want to make sure that nobody misses it. Make sure you are tagging your team, texting your team members. And if you tag them, guys, guess what? They get a chance to go back into the group and watch it at a later date if they cannot watch it real time. And for those of you who are watching it, on the replay, go ahead and put replay, right? Or put the number 2. Okay, if you're watching it for the first time, put the number 1 in there. But again, let's make sure we go ahead and get everybody in the place to be. We want all the ears where they can hear, right? And all the derrieres in their chairs, and make sure you got yourself something to write with, something to write on, so you can take some copious notes. And so we'll get the training started at the top of the hour. But I want to make sure you guys got in, got your seat, right, and got yourselves prepared. All right. So again, we'll be getting started shortly.
Drops in the morning, feel like we can slow. Hunger balance, right, watch the engines go.
That's what I'm talking about, guys. Again, we're on the countdown. We got less than 60 seconds. We're right at about 60 seconds to make sure we go ahead and get everybody on board. Again, if you can, let me know that you are live. Go ahead and type in the chat, what your name is and where you're calling from, if you don't mind, or where you're zooming in from. We'll know who we have out there. And again, while you're doing that, make sure you continue to send out your text messages. Make sure you continue to tag your people in those groups, in the group. Make sure they actually have opportunity to there we go, to join us either now or later. And if you are joining us, guys, on a replay, go ahead and just type in replay or type in a number 2. And again, this is Samuel Bean. I'm a diamond here at ORYGN, and excited about sharing this training with you guys today. I just think it's going to be life-changing for most of you guys, and so I'm going to show you guys how to get out of your way. These are some things that I actually have utilized throughout my career to make sure that I got out of my own way. So I'm going to be teaching you guys today from application, not theory. So again, take the last moment to go ahead and get everybody on this call. All right. And so if you're here today for the first time, I'm looking at the chats right now, and I want to make sure I follow you guys.
I'm going to show you guys how to get out.
There we go. Got to be smarter than the technology you're using, right? Okay. And so we'll go ahead and get this show on the road, guys. Again, my name is Samuel Bean. I am a diamond here at ORYGN. Excited about being a part of the ORYGN family. And real quick here, guys, this is a special moment for me because for me, I doubted the industry, got out of the industry, came back into the industry because of this opportunity, and I just saw something big, something huge. And when I talk about self-sabotaging today, I saw some things in my past in other companies that I learned while I was working on a job, and I said if I ever had to do some things over again, I wouldn't make the same mistakes twice. Okay, and so it's okay for you to make mistakes, guys, and you can make as many as you want. Just don't make the same one twice. So today, we're going to talk about the mistakes that we make, and sometimes they're intentional, right? We're going to talk about the 12 symptoms that let you know you are addicted to self-sabotaging, okay? So today is going to be time for a conscious interrupt. So some of you guys have some patterns that you've established. We want to make sure we interrupted that today. And so when you talk about losing, guys, losing on a high level is no accident, right? You got to be on purpose with it. You got to be good at it to do it on a high level, right? It takes practice, repetition, preparation, and emotional rehearsal, guys. This is something that we've been doing for a long time, okay? And we've been good at it. So you repeatedly ignore opportunities, take yourself out of action, and call it timing, okay? And so important. So after enough repetition, self-sabotage stops feeling like sabotage. It starts feeling normal. And we got to get you out of the normalcy and expectation of feeling and self-sabotaging. So as long as your comfort keeps winning, your future keeps losing. And so you've heard this, over and over again. We talk about your comfort zone being your broke zone, being your failure zone. Well, again, the more comfortable you are, the more you'll find yourself losing and further away from your goals. So anyone would like to know why you keep losing? Anybody, if that's you, put me in the chat, guys. Put me in the chat. I want to see who is out there. I want to see who's participating. And so I like the energy. I like participation. So put me in the chat. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to think of all the times that you quit before you got started. All the times that you talked yourself out of an opportunity, a responsibility, talked yourself out of your goals, your dreams. Put yourself in a position that you knew what you were doing, and the decision that you were making wasn't the right decision, but you did it anyway. Right? Self-sabotaging. Okay? Think about it. Ask yourself this: how hard was it to do? If you're being honest, how hard was it to talk yourself out of those things? And if you're honest with yourself, guys, it wasn't hard at all, right? How many times have you eaten things you shouldn't have eaten? How many times that you spent money that you shouldn't have spent? How many times that you missed appointments that you shouldn't have missed? And you knew what you were doing when you did them. Okay, you were conscious of what was happening. You just made a decision to do otherwise. Okay, and so want to make sure we talk about that today, because countless numbers of times you've self-sabotaged and you willingly did it, knowingly did it, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So today, when we talk about self-sabotage, symptom number 1. And these are in no specific order, but self-sabotage, symptom number 1. You're self-sabotaging when you want comfort more than you want growth. You want comfort more than you want growth. See, this is not a conflict with other people, guys. What I'm talking about right now is an internal conflict, okay? You run towards pleasure and you run away from pain, right? Every opportunity gets vetoed by the inner bully that never built anything at all, right? Your inner me is your enemy, and that's important for you to know, guys. You're your own worst enemy, not the people outside of you, okay? Every opportunity gets vetoed by the inner bully, and when you talk about that, you've lost so many opportunities to that voice, guys. You refuse to change against it, okay? And you refuse to take risk against it as well. You refuse to take sacrifices against it as well because you lost so many times to it. So comfort is not protecting you, guys. It's negotiating your future away. So self-sabotage symptom number 2. And I'm going to go through these with a little speed because I want to make sure I'm timely with this. But you are addicted to approval of others. You are addicted to the approval of others, okay? You want people to think great things about you, and this kind of starts when you're a child, when you're a kid. You dance for claps, you dance for cheers and celebrations, whatever it is. You make funny faces, you giggled, whatever it is. You did it for attention, right? So you still need permission as an adult, guys. Most of you guys still are seeking, that approval. You're still desiring, that attention, right? But when you think about it, you perform for an audience instead of becoming yourself. Right? You want to make sure you're not just doing things for people to like you. You're not just doing things for people to accept you. You're doing things to be a better version of you. This is all about you. Just like that you're living, and every mistake that you make, you're going to be the one that pays the price for it, not others. But you want to speak profoundly like you are a leader, but you want to do so without doing leadership things. Okay? That's when you're starting to speak the jargon, the language, the lingo, but you're speaking about things you've never done, things that you've never put into play in the process, right? You're just thinking about, you're talking about things that you heard Demetrius talk about, what you heard Michelle talk about, what you've heard Mick talk about, what you heard Laura talk about. You haven't done any of these things. You're just regurgitating it, okay? But you require a high level of acceptance and a low level of respect. Okay? Leaders require a high level of respect and a low level of acceptance. See, for me, when you joined me, if you're a part of my team, guys, you didn't join me because you liked me or because you knew me. You joined me because you wanted to make money. Okay? And that's my responsibility. So whether you like me or not, when we're in this process, that's not my agenda. My agenda is to make you money. And in order for that to happen, I need you to respect who I am and what I do for you. And and if you like me later on in life, that's fantastic. That's a plus. But I'd rather you be rich and not like me, right? I'd rather you be rich and respect me because of what I did for you and with you, as opposed to you liking me. Okay? Leaders don't care anything about you liking them, right? You seek approval from your cross line and down line instead of your up line, and your up line is where all the money is at. Okay? But most of you do that because you know for a fact that you're not doing what your upline prescribed for you to do, so you'll go and talk to everybody else about all the things you've done to be celebrated. Okay? But if everybody has to approve your next move, guys, you don't have a life, you have a committee. Okay? Self-sabotage symptom number 3. And if you're liking this, you're getting some stuff, guys, put some love in the chat, put some fire in the chat, again, celebrate it, whatever you want to do, and put your favorite nuggets in there. As long as we're talking, as long as I'm going through these things, go ahead and drop some nuggets that you're getting, and takeaways that you're getting, okay? But you're afraid of making mistakes, okay? Okay? You're addicted to self-sabotage when you are afraid of making mistakes. You're not playing to win, guys, you're playing to lose, okay? You are looking more for saving face, because you just don't want to look bad. You don't want to be exposed. You want to put yourself in a vulnerable position, right? People use the excuse, well, I want to do this perfectly. I want to make sure that I master all this stuff before I go out there and do something, right? You that person that says, you know what, I'm getting ready to get ready. I'm finished to do something. I'm about to do something. I'm going to do something, but you haul off and do absolutely nothing, okay? It's all talk, right? It's all a camouflage. And so, again, you avoid role plays. You avoid inviting. You avoid presentations. You avoid anything that may expose you. Okay. You want excellence without you want excellence without surviving the embarrassment of being active, okay? and being new. Okay. So you want to make sure you go out there and learn some things, guys. Go out there and mess it up. And be okay with messing it up, because you can't say the wrong things to the right people. Okay? And a lot of people in this company that said the wrong things, and they had they had that drop in their hand, they had the ignite in their hands, right? And when they let people taste the ignite, guess what? That erased everything that they said that was wrong, and people still got started. Okay, so don't worry about making mistakes. This is an amazing eraser, right? The drops are an amazing eraser, right? So, but there's a book called You Can't Steal Second with Your Foot Still on First, right? And again, just go out there, guys, and take massive action. Okay, because the more mistakes you're willing to make, the more money you'll potentially earn, because you should learn from every mistake that you make based on the reflections. Okay, but everybody can already see you standing still. People can see that you're not moving. People can they know, guys, when you're perpetrating the fraud. Okay, self-sabotage symptom number 4. Okay? You never take action, even with great opportunities and great timing. Guys, I'm gonna just tell you, when you look at most people, they won't take action and massive action on a great idea because it's not their idea. 9 times out of 10, if it was your idea, bad, good, doesn't matter. You would actually sell all the way out, right? You get motivated but never get inspired enough to move because you lack ambition. Okay. You collect ideas instead of executing them because you are not a self-starter. Okay. You come up with excuses that are disguised as intelligent reasons. And just give you a couple of things, guys. You act confident while quietly second-guessing every important decision that you make. Okay? It's not an idea worth selling out for, guys, because it's not your idea. I said that a minute ago. But if you go to Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, there's a chapter in that book, the 55 Alibis of Old Man If, right? And that chapter talks about all the excuses that people actually make to keep them poor, keep them failing, that keep them behind, right? And he even goes as far as saying, guys, that some of your excuses are actually good reasons, but the problem with that is that those good reasons are larger than your dreams and your goals, okay? And so that's where the problem lies. Now, self-sabotage symptom number 5. You have dreams but no goals. Everybody has dreams. Successful people have goals and strategy, okay? Dreams are your fuel. Goals are the navigation system. Okay, those are the ones that make sure you're hitting all the checkpoints, make sure you arrive. And even if you don't arrive on time, you still make it to that destination. Okay, but you keep treating your future like it's one of those things that is nice to have, or something that you would like to have. It'd be cool to have, but you don't treat it like it's a must-have or a gotta-have type of thing. Okay, you may be willing to do your best. This is one of my favorite ones, guys. You may be willing to do your best, but you're not willing to do what's required, because what's required requires you to stretch. It requires you to evolve and become someone you were never before in the past. Because people say, I did my best, guys. And when you say I did my best, that's like a soft pillow to fall on and to fail on. Okay? What you're going to have to do is make your best better. If you went to your boss and said, hey, boss, I did my best. He said, well, that ain't what we pay you to do. We pay you to get the job done. We don't pay you to do your best. Make your best better or find another job. Okay? And so why would you do your best and make your best better at a job when that's never going to retire you? That's never going to put you in a position to be financially free. But if you go out here and make your best better here, you can go out there and make 5 figures a week, like the Lauras, the Micks, the Michelles, the Ashleys and Demetriuses and all the rest of these other leaders who are out there just dominating out there. Because I can just tell you, all of them get better every day. They make their best better every day. Okay? Even myself coming here, I didn't come here, with my system. I didn't come here, doing all the things that I made millions of dollars with in other systems, because a lot of this stuff doesn't apply here. Okay? I had to reinvent myself, which means that I have to start from scratch. I have to build up and make where I am better, because I have to learn everything all new. But your calendar, guys, your calendar will tell the truth, while your mouth keeps trying to negotiate. Now, self-sabotage, symptom number 6. You blame others for your failures. You blame others for your failures, guys. When you fail, everybody else gets investigated first. Everybody else gets the finger pointed at them. Everybody else gets the blame. When you win, suddenly you remember how hard you worked, right? Okay? When you win or somebody on your team wins, you're the one that wants to take all the credit. Okay? So, just telling you, you refuse to reflect because reflection may expose your participation. Okay? You cannot correct what you will not acknowledge, guys. And that's the thing about a person. The person will never, ever reflect and own up to the role that they played in a certain situation. That person is telling me all that I need to know about them, and that lets me know I need to find somebody else to work with and invest my time with, because that person can't be trusted. That person is emotionally unsophisticated. Okay, and so we want to make sure that we're doing business with people who are more reliable. Self-sabotage symptom number 7. You entertain yourself more than you educate yourself. This is a good one. So compare what you spend on entertainment, guys, to what you've invested in your mind. Okay, think about this. Which one have you invested the most in? Concerts, parties, gear, all that good stuff. So you invest more on the outside of your head than you do on the inside of your head. Some of you pay more money for your haircuts, more money for your hairdos, for your hair, for your hats, right? Wigs, whatever it is. You rather look amazing out here as opposed to being amazing in here. The 6 inches between your ears, guys, that's where you actually make the biggest investment, because that's where you get the biggest returns. Okay, so books, courses, you don't invest in. Mentorship and seminars, you don't invest in. Trainings, exposures. See, when you look at the trainings, guys, like the one we have coming up on September the 12th, right now I shouldn't have to ask you if you have your ticket already. You should already have it. Okay, if you don't have your hotel room or your airplane, it's because you're waiting on a check. It's because you're waiting on some money to clear. Because people who are serious about making money, people who are serious about building a big business, they've already got that squared away. And let me share something with you guys. It costs. It's cost. It's very, very expensive to be broke. Okay. When I say it's very, very expensive to be broke, people who wait for the last minute, guess what they do? They pay the at the door ticket prices. People who they don't get the early bird stuff. People who wait for the last minute to actually book their airfare, guys. Last minute tickets are way more expensive. People who wait to get their hotel rooms, guess what? That room block is closing and they don't have that many rooms left, so now they can up the price. And guess what? Now your room is more expensive. Okay? When you actually go out there and make the decision, when the opportunity is presented to you and not waiting, you get the best rates, right? You get the best deals, right? People who are wealthy, they take action immediately. They make those decisions immediately. Okay? They don't let what their bank account says make the decision for them. Okay? So that's important. But you spend thousands celebrating a life, you refuse to spend hundreds improving. Some of you guys, man, I see you on Facebook, and boy, you on cruises, you on yachts, right? And nobody says you can't have your 40th or your 45th or your 30th or your fantastic 25th, whatever it is, and you're spending thousands of dollars on that, right? Okay, but you won't, spend a couple $100s on tickets to go to events. You won't spend a couple dollars on tickets to go to events and travel arrangements to go to events that can actually make you multiple 6 figures and some of you 7 figures. Okay, and so we have to prioritize properly, right? Self-development is capital expenditure on your most important asset, you. Okay. The place where you actually invest the most money, where you get the biggest return on, is you. The second place is your team. Okay, make those investments on those things. So your bank statement reveals everything your mouth is lying about. Just for the record. All right, self-sabotage symptom number 8. Okay, you stay connected to people who are going nowhere. Okay, you stay in toxic, unproductive relationships because starting over scares you. Okay, it's like your life cycle. Okay, it's your comfort zone. Okay, and so you spend too much time with people who make failure comfortable for you. Hey, the call is at 5 o'clock. You have people that's talking about nothing that has anything to do with ORYGN to their team members and cross-line members, distracting people, right, when they should be on this call, when they should have been on the 12 o'clock call with the corporate team this morning, right, when they should have been on the Monday night call. Somebody who you're dealing with they don't really care about the business like that, right? They're not plugged in. They're distracting you, and that's what their job is to distract you. Okay? Misery loves company, and so does broke people. Okay? I'm just telling you. Okay? Make sure that you find better company to keep, guys. They become your irresponsibility and unaccountability partners. Okay? Say that again for the people in the cheap seats. They become your irresponsibility and unaccountability partners, not your accountability partners. They don't tell you, hey, look, oh man, we're late, let's go. No, they look at the time, they see that they're supposed to be on the call, and guess what? They keep talking. Because the Power series, oh man, you got to watch the Power series, or you got to watch, the basketball game, or you got to watch, the Housewives of Beverly Hills, or you got whatever it is, Guys, if I'm investing time with anybody, it's Michelle, it's Laura, Ron, it's Ashley, it's Mick, right? It's Dr. Thornton, right? It's Demetrius, right? Or it's my team members who are plugged in. I'm not investing time where I don't get a return from it. I'm not investing time with a person who, and get this, I want to make sure you guys get this. I'm not investing time with a person who doesn't have anything to lose by taking my time. Okay? If I'm investing time with Demetrius, both of us are going to get a return on it. Okay? If I invest my time with Laura, Michelle, both of us are going to get a return on it. Right? They're talking about money. They're talking about building. They're talking about leadership. Right? And so that's who you want to be investing your time with. Right? But you give an audience to people that are not builders, that distract you from your leaders and your missions. Okay? But if you lose the people that hold you back, you lose your limitations, guys. Keep that in mind. If you lose the people, shake them, right? If you lose the people, shake them off, right? If you lose the people who hold you back, you lose your limitations. Self-sabotage symptom number 9, okay? You are addicted to drama. You are addicted to drama, okay? You turn 5-minute challenges into 5-day arguments, okay? You argue over details instead of producing resolutions. Okay? You want to be understood more than you want an understanding. You ever heard, or talk to a person like you're trying to get a point across to them that's a real point that's holding them back, but they're so busy trying to get you to understand where they're at and how they're feeling because they're in their emotions. They're playing the victim role, right? Guys, move on. Okay? I was having a conversation with a relative, and he's my older relative, he's an uncle of mine, and there's some things going on, and I'm trying to get a point across to him, and he's coming back at me with more and more negativity. And I said, Roger that, and I left the chat. Okay, and so I'm just telling you guys, there's a phrase that said, when you argue with a fool, people from a distance can't tell who is who. Okay, just telling you. But some people just want to be heard. They don't want a solution. Okay, but challenges can be solved, guys. Drama must, continually be fed. It takes another person to feed that individual. Right? You ever argue with a person and they don't argue back, and there's nobody but you and them there, but you look so silly arguing with them, and they're not paying you any mind. They're not responding. They're not giving you any emotion. They're not giving you any energy, and you just stop and walk away, or vice versa. Okay? That's what you need to do, right? But stop trying to solve drama like it's a legitimate business problem. Guys, move on, okay? Self-sabotage symptom number 10. You make excuses for other people's successes, okay? You make excuses for other people's successes, okay? Mick, by the way, great job, man. Double blue diamond. Somebody's making an excuse. Oh, yeah. Mick, he came in, he had a team in, or they put him in a tree, or whatever it is. They've already made an excuse on why you're winning and why they're failing. Okay? But great job, my friend. I know, but you explain other people's wins as luck, timing, money, contacts, or any type of advantages you believe that you want to give them, or that you believe that they actually had. Okay? To be, or where you don't have the gumption to be, or the boldness to be. Present them for that. Okay? You deflect proven advice by saying it only works for other people. You ever have, Mrs. Laura, where you talk to people and say, well, that won't work for me. Michelle, you ever had conversations like that? But you know what? If you do this, you post every day. Michelle, I'm not you, Michelle. I'm not the guru, right? But Demetrius, you giving somebody advice. You ever given somebody some advice and they say, well, Demetrius, you've owned a company before. You've been at the top of the comp plan before. All you got to do is somebody, and they're going to join you, right? They're always going to make excuses for why you're winning and why they're failing, okay? But every excuse protects their ego, guys. while your life stays the same. Okay? I'm just telling you that every time you tell them or make an excuse to somebody, their life is still moving forward, right? They don't need your permission to succeed. Still staying the same. As a matter of fact, this is what normally happens, guys. I mean, you keep telling that same story, you keep on living that same lie, and what happens is the further and further and further people get from you based on their rank and their achievements, their income earnings and stuff like that, the more and more they expose you, right? Therefore, I've seen people leave the company based on things like that. Okay, so I'm just telling you, envy looks like the trophy, and envy looks at the trophy while wisdom congratulates and duplicates. Okay, as symptom number 11, you would rather be right than rich. I know some of you guys have heard that before, right? You'd rather be right than rich. Your ego becomes more important than the mission. Okay, you refuse advice even from the proven experts. It's amazing how Demetrius came up here yesterday, green diamond status, first green diamond, which means that he went out and did the work first. Okay, simple instructions on how to make things happen, and instead of taking the simple instructions and applying it, you don't just second guess it. Your own strategies, your own ideas, and you guess what you can because you're an independent business owner, and it's your business to do, right? But why would you? Okay? Why would you rather be your own? This company didn't get you the green diamond, and his ideas did. When Michelle's ideas got her the black diamond, double black diamond, and you humble yourself and really submit to the system and submit to the leadership. For me, I don't take advice from people I wouldn't trade places with. Okay, and I would gladly, as it pertains to ORYGN bank accounts and ORYGN earnings, I trade bank accounts with Nick, Laura, Michelle, Ron, right, Ashley, because Demetrius, Ashley got all the money. I'll definitely trade green diamond. And all you gotta do, guys, is take their advice. Yeah, you don't have to take the income from them. You just take it. It's your way or no payday, which means that, guys, you're gonna follow your own, advice away from the bank. You're not going to the bank, to cash checks that you make on your own. Can you? Yes, it's possible, but we're talking about the big checks. We're talking about the ones that matter. Okay, I have people that I talk to every day. People who text me and people I call and I listen to what they say. I'm not trying to convince a person to. And okay, if I got to convince you to do the things that made Michelle the money that she's making, I'm talking to the wrong person. If I got to convince the things that Demetrius did to make the money that he's making, Ashley did to make the money she's making, Laura did, Mick did to make, Dr. Thornton did to make the money they're making, I'm talking to the wrong person. Okay, and so it's next for me, guys. Did you not hear what Dan said today? 20% of people walking in the United States of America right now are on synthetic GLP-1s, not 10% anymore. Okay, they just on us, and they just made our job that much easier. There are some sick people who lost a lot of weight, but they are not right inside, and these people are looking right. But you don't want to go online because I'm not a social media person. I don't have a Facebook. Okay, for $20,000 a week, could you open up a Facebook account? For $25,000 a month, could you open up a Facebook account and post every day? Okay, and get into these groups where ain't no group on your cell phone, right? There are no GLP support groups on your cell phone. There are no chiropractic groups on your cell phone. There are no spa groups on your cell phone. But you rather be right than rich. Knock yourself out. Open up a Facebook account. To always be right is one of the most expensive addictions in business. Last but not least, right? Self-sabotage symptom number 12. You're careless with money. Bad relationship with money. You don't have a problem with. You don't have a money problem. You have a relationship problem. Okay, and so what I mean by that is the average person in North America spends $5.30 for every dollar that they actually earn, and that's based on financing, credit, all this other stuff. They're buying stuff that they can't afford, right? Everything is financed, and so that's already a bad. And when you talk about self-sabotaging, guys, when you get money, you blow it. It's already spent. Most people don't have investments. Most people don't have savings. Most people don't have any miscellaneous income to go out there and make investments with. This is the land of milk and honey. I grew up poor. I grew up on Section 8 housing. I grew up jumping in and out of trash cans and dumpsters, picking cans and bottles. That's how old I am. Recycling bottles back in the day when I was jumping in and out of dumpsters. Okay, I wore hand-me-downs. As a kid, I pumped gas at gas stations. 9 years old for change, right? And so what I'm saying is everybody has problems. Everybody has challenges, right? But just because you have challenges, that doesn't mean that becomes your excuse. Right? That becomes the reason why you fail willingly. Okay? There are so many people out here who have your answers. Foreclosure, repossession while my wife was 6 months pregnant, losing everything in 2008, and all of the government state for us. And I had a real estate company, loss mitigation company, prevention company, and a mortgage partnership. Lost all of those companies at one time. Over $300,000, in earnings and transactions when the government froze all of our real estate transactions. I lose everything, including my wife, my mind, everything. Okay, but I had a mentor. I had a person who had already been through bank stuff there. He beat it and became a millionaire. So if he did it for him and he was teaching other people how to do it, he could do it for me. Okay, and I followed his steps, his advice, his mentorship, his coaching, and my wife and I, we beat it. Okay, and we went on to make not just seven figures in two other different industries. Okay, so again, where you're at right now, guys, is where you've made an appointment to be. Okay, you're here because you've been here because of the life that you chose to live, the way you chose to live it, right? And I'm just telling you, that's something that can be fixed. Okay, money is the tool, guys, to make your life better and easier, not to make you happy. Okay, happiness is a byproduct of creating financial freedom. That's going to happen. Period. When you go out there and become successful, you go out there and put yourself in a position where you never need money again as long as you live. That's where true happiness comes. And you can now do anything that you wanted to do. I'm 18 months. My wife and I, we chose to not spend a dime on a holiday. We didn't have Mother's Day. We didn't have birthdays. We didn't have Valentine's Day. We didn't have Christmases. We celebrated those days, gifts. We saved and we invested our way because when you lose everything, guys, you don't want to ever go through that again. So we learned from all of our mistakes, and then after the 18 months was over with, guys, every day was Christmas Day. Every day was a birthday. Every day was a holiday because we can do whatever we can afford to do it. Okay, that's because we enhanced and put ourselves in a position where we had a great relationship with money. Okay, sure that you're not out there trying to impress people and trying to buy people's love and people's admiration and trying to keep up with the Joneses and everybody else, guys. When you go bankrupt, okay, I'm telling you, you're trying to impress people who don't like you and who can care less. Okay, impress your wife or your husband. Impress your banker, right? I only want to look two places: in my house and in my bank account. Okay, so but you have to master money, right? The money may not solve the problem. It gives you a larger budget, you know, um, for your bad behavior and your bad habits. And that's what money is not. You throwing money at is not the solution. Learning about money, is what's going to make it better for you. Because if you don't know what to do with $1, guys, you won't know what to do with 10,000. You don't know what to do with 10,000. You're gonna blow 100,000 easy. Okay. Ask the people who won the lot. I'm just telling you. So financial discipline protects tomorrow from today's emotions. Okay, that's a whole conversation for a whole entirely different day. So what I want you guys to do is this. This is basically um, the reckoning right here. I want you guys to understand the real enemy was never just out there in the world. Okay, ways life has self-sabotaged and conspired against you with $1, guys. You own life. Okay, and here's the good news. What you create, you can correct. Okay, what you've done, you can undo. Right, and the problem, you can start participating in the solution. Yeah, you don't have to be a victim, guys. But if you choose to be, that's on you. You just don't have to be. Okay, practice makes permanent. Okay, whatever you do over and over and over and over again, guys, it becomes permanent. It just means that it's becoming permanent. It's conditioning. Okay, it's going to become permanent, and you're going to be good at it because you're practicing it every day. So just like when I said earlier, master being a great failure, just like a champion has to master winning championships. They wake up early in the morning while you sleep in late, right? They go the extra mile while you cut corners. right? They go out there and they spend money and invest money on trainers and complain, and you go out there and you let opportunities pass you by. You're real good at it. You've been doing it for a long time. That's why you understand, okay? But after the day, hopefully you go back and reflect on it and just see which one of these things apply to you, which one of these things have been holding you back, which one of these things you've suffered from, so you can change them. Out there and really make sure that it goes from being a weakness to becoming a strength, okay? And that's important. But anything you practice long enough, guys, to master can be replaced by practicing something better. This is what I want you guys to know as I close out today. I'm not in the fixing you business. That's your job. I'm going to get fixing, right? You're exactly where you made an appointment to be because years, has gotten you here. So if you practice resilience, courage, discipline, accountability, leadership, execution, you will master your evolution. Okay? You already sabotage yourself. Now let's see how good you can become at fixing yourself. Okay? So that's my time. Okay? I'm glad that you guys were here with me. Again, I appreciate that. And I see some people, I just got a couple of text messages that said thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, the best way you can say thank you is going out and applying everything that you've learned. Okay? All these leaders, 10 ways or 10 days, you know, don't just go say thank you. A lot of you guys are going to see these individuals in Orlando. You'll see all of them in Orlando if you show up. They're all going to be there. Okay. Question is, will you be there? And the other question will be this: will you go up and learn from them and tell them that, hey, I got this from in 10 days training, and this has helped me boost my business in so many different ways. Okay. And so that's how you say thank you, guys. Leadership is a thankless business, right? Because people don't know how to thank leaders. The best way to thank them is by applying what they teach you, okay? And so I appreciate you, Michelle. Thank you very much for allowing me to share on this platform today and trusting me with your audience, okay? Because you didn't have to do that. And I look forward, guys. Let's go out here, take our Ignite, and get this energy, and let's run all the way through the finish line. You 30 days, do a 30-day blitz all the way through September the 12th to get there at the highest rank possible. Do not self-sabotage, okay? Go out there and blow the brakes off this business, okay? See you guys at the top. Y'all have a great one. Bye-bye.